Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So Ride1up set my rotor. Last time we talked about the damages on the bike, we talked about that the front brake rotor was very damaged. It was very bent up and tweaked. The front wheel wouldn't even turn. So as promised, Ride1up sent me, I just unpackaged it right now to the plastic. They sent me a new rotor. Let that focus in. And there we go. It's a brand new brake rotor. There's the brand. That's the back. That focus in. That shows the size, which is 180 millimeter. So now I'm going to do a video on taking the front wheel off. I do not have a motorcycle stand, so I'm going to be using just a kickstand, so this is going to be interesting. So let's get started. So this takes the front wheel. Take the front wheel off. It takes a 15 millimeter socket or opening wrench, whatever you prefer. And as you guys know that have this bike, if you put it together yourself, wow, okay, that's already loose. Okay. The wheel just slides out, and don't forget about the spacers. So this will be interesting. Let me get a wider shot here of me doing this. There we go. Okay. So let's see how this works out. Usually when I worked on my motorcycles, I always had a motorcycle stand, a jack or whatever, so let's see how this works out. Here we go. Take that off. I'll put that down that way. And let's see if the bike will stay up. As you can see, the bike kind of wants to stay up, but it doesn't. It wants to tip over to the right. Okay, here we go. So if you push the wheel, if you turn the steering to the right, the bar will stay up because it's leaning. It's leaning over. Let me so you guys can see me here. There we go. So I was trying to say is, if you guys lean the bars or turn the bars to the right, the bike will want to lean over this way, thus leaning on the kickstand. So I'm going to refocus this back on the wheel. Let me see how good I could get this. Okay, so let's get the tools. So the rotor came with a little bag of screws. You guys will be able to see this. There we go. Came with a little bag of screws. See if it'll focus. Whatever. You guys get it. Let's see what size these excuse me, these cap screws are very small. So I also have these as well. These hex drives. So actually I think I'm going to use these. I like to use these. Okay, so it's going to be the smallest one, which is going to be an HW3, it looks like. These are Husky brand, but you get it. So actually, and these are very shallow too. I don't like these. This is the thing about stuff that's made in China, because I know these... Actually, this is not even the right size. I'm pretty sure these bikes are made in China. I think. I may be wrong. But the hardware, some of the hardware on these bikes is terrible. Wow. Okay. Okay, so these are on very tight. I can't tell what size this is because I do not have my glasses on the Allen, but I don't like the way it goes on there because it feels like it's almost going to break. I almost want to put a Torx on there. Okay, these probably have Loctite on them. It makes sense. I mean, it's a brake rotor. But they're all coming, seems like they're all coming, they're all breaking loose. I just don't like it the way it feels, the way the Allen fits. But they're all coming loose. Just be very careful on these, guys. Make sure your Allen wrench or whatever you're using is very seated in there. Otherwise you'll strip these cap screws. And there's 6 of them. Ah, jeez. Yeah, see, this is... I'm going to have to get my Torx because this one I think might have stripped already. See, that's what I mean, guys. This is what's terrible about these cheap screws. Alright guys, so now I know why they gave you the extra cap screws. I pretty much almost stripped one of them. I had to end up, yeah, and these are Loctite with blue Loctite. I don't know if that'll focus. There we go, kind of. So these have blue Loctite on them. But see, this is my Torx I had to use. I had to use a T25. I'd probably recommend a T25 on all of these. Don't use an Allen, or don't, if it doesn't fit right, just use a T25. This one, I hammered this one in there a little bit because it just wouldn't go in. So, highly recommend using the T25. You know, I got kind of afraid. I thought I was going to have to go into, you know, start drilling this out and retapping it. And as some of you that are some of you guys that have been mechanics and have worked on your own stuff and handyman, whatever, you know that's kind of a pain in the ass to start. Start getting to that realm of things. I'm just happy this last screw came out without any, with minimal, without going invasive efforts. Invasive efforts, sorry. This one, looks like this one's still a little tight. There we go. Yeah, I mean, they don't make... I don't know, guys. What do you think? Nobody makes anything good anymore. Everything's cheap now, you know? I mean, from underwear to stuff like this. Nothing's made good anymore. It's like, it's all about making everything as cheap as possible to save money. Okay, so anyways, before I pull that rotor off, let me just look at the orientation. So let's open this one up. Also glad, I want to thank Ride1up to get this, thank them to get this rotor up to me as soon as possible. So this rotor looks different, actually. This actually looks like it's more beefy. Yes. Okay, let's compare them. So see, that's gonna go. So this wheel goes that way. So this rotor is gonna go that way. So let's compare the rotors. There's no spacer here or anything, guys. So look at that. Let me bring this a little closer. Let me widen the view here a little bit. There we go. So look at that, guys. Rotors look different. This one looks like it's higher quality actually. Oh, that's cool, and it tells you the rotation too. This one does not. Anyways, this looks like a higher quality rotor. This is the one they sent me. It's thicker. It's got more. Yeah, it's actually a little thicker too. It's got more surface area for maybe not the brakes, but just to make the rotor stronger, maybe. This one is a tiny bit heavier, little bit, very little. Here's a stock one, and here's the new one. So pretty cool. All right, let's get it on there. So rotation, make sure it fits. It's funny, I should be doing all this before I even made the video, but whatever. Let's just, I guess it's better to be surprised on the camera than make it, nothing's perfect, so these are the new cap screws. And they already all have Loctite on them. I don't have a torque spec for these. I was going to clean up the threads a little bit, but this is a brand new bike, so and I've only taken these off once, so the threads should be good to go. And be careful putting these in, guys. Make sure you don't cross thread them. That one went in nice. I hate messing with this kind of stuff because sometimes you get one that just doesn't go in right, you know, and it feels like it's going to cross thread. So looks like they put the Loctite about 1.5 to 2 threads in. So it could be deceiving when some of these go in really easy. See, there's one here that just kind of goes in like it's going to cross thread, you know? Okay, there we go. So a tip I could give you, because I've been working on cars and mechanical stuff for a long time, is once you get that first thread in, or 1.5, pull back, like back out on it and thread in instead of pushing down. Pull out, because it's like you're letting, if it's threaded correctly, you're letting the thread pull it in. If you pull out a little bit. Yeah, see? So here I could tell it's hitting the Loctite, back it out a little bit, and thread again, yep. Yep. So the quality of the cap screw seems the same. The rotor fits pretty good. I think I'm even going to use the Torx 25 to put it in. I don't trust using that Allen wrench. It just didn't feel like it was seating inside the cap screw good. The T25 fits much tighter. And this is how I've removed strip bolts too. Stripped Allen bolts. I'll get a nice strong Torx, pound it in there, and that's how I remove it. That's what I had to do with this one. This one was stripped. So that's another tip for you guys. Okay, it looks like everything's going in pretty well. Okay. So obviously, Ride1up figured something out, or is doing other things for the rotor, because they did send me a better quality rotor. I wonder if they're just having issues with. I mean, and I'm curious also. I wonder if they're going to start putting these on the other models that are going out, or maybe they just can't get that rotor the manufacturer they're using. I don't even know what brand this is actually. Man, this thing is still bent, I could tell. I mean, this thing literally bent like here. Not just the whole thing, but it bent on the actual rail itself, on the rotor rail itself. So, word of advice, guys, if you end up replacing rotors, do not reuse the cap screws. They're going to be very hard to take out, and they're very cheap. And don't be surprised if you end up stripping one a little or a lot. Strip the whole thing. So as you see, I'm going in a circular motion. I'm not tightening one completely. Now, since they're almost all down, I'll start making one. Once it reaches the end, I'll let it be snug. Okay. And also, guys, when you're screwing these in, if they're loose, you know that's okay, but when you get to the tight point, whether you remove them or torque them down, make sure you're completely straight and all the way in, whether you're using Allen or Torx, doesn't matter. Because even a good quality Allen or Torx cap screw, you will strip if you're not seated completely in there. Trust me, I've done it before. Many times. Okay. Good. Okay, so now I'm probably going to go, these are all snug now, a little bit, so now I'm probably going to go like maybe a 16th or an 8th of a turn. There. And I'll go in a cross motion. Star motion, more like a star, not a cross. Start over. And that's all I'm going to tighten them. And here it is. Oh, crap, I knew that was going to happen, but the axle just slipped out. That's okay. There we go. That goes in there like that. And make sure you get the correct orientation of your axle. So once you get that in there, put this in like so. And also, again, don't strip your axle nut. There we go. You want to get these even too as possible. Okay, now this is the part that'll be, let's see here. This will be the part that's a little difficult. This is the part that I hate, is lining up brake rotor. Alright guys, so that was kind of a bear to put that front wheel on. I recommend, I had to take my mirror off. By the way, here's the new mirror that I got. I got this on Amazon. I'll probably put the link at the bottom if I remember. This is the brand. See if I can focus on it. Let me see here. This camera's terrible. Or I am. There we go. Anyways, I had to take the mirror off. I just put this on the other day. So the best way to put the wheel on is to just flip the bike upside down, and it just will make life a lot easier to do that. It's easier to align and everything. And then I align the brakes in the front, and if you guys know how to do it, you gotta loosen up the caliper bolts, squeeze the brake lever, and then retighten them. And now the brake pads don't even contact the rotor when you're rolling the front wheel. Everything's good. I also checked my torque on the front axle again and everything, and I got that a little better. But everything's good. So there's a rotor install, front rotor install on Ride1up Revv1, and I'll see you guys on the next one. If you got any questions, comments, just put them in the bottom. Thanks.